Grooves, Zinkelbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
Welcome back to Assembly Update. I am Assembly Member Angelo Santa Barbara. District offices are in the City of Amsterdam and City of Schenectady in the 111th Assembly District. In Amsterdam, 1170 Riverfront Center, Amsterdam, New York, 12010. I can be reached by phone at that office at 518-843-0227. In the City of Schenectady, 433 State Street, Schenectady, New York, 12305. I can be reached by phone there at 518-382-2941, and as always by email at santabarbara@assembly.state.ny.us. Welcome back to the show. We've been talking about Northern Rivers Family Services, which is a new name, new website, and we have John Henley, who is the Executive Vice President. John, welcome back to the show. Thank you for being here and for sharing all that wonderful information in the first half of our show. Let's get back into the services.
Sure.
I know there's a lot of services.
Yes, there are.
That are provided by this organization. What are some of the services that are really maybe in need more than some of the others? What's the demand right now?
Well, a couple of things come to mind. Certainly, one of the first and foremost is mental health services for children in particular. Who are in great need of mental health services because they're suffering from some diagnosable mental illness, or they've gone through some very, very severe trauma that environmentally makes their lives very difficult, and they're in great turmoil in terms of their emotional state and in terms of their behavioral state. So the mental health services, getting appropriate mental health services to youngsters and to their families remains a challenge. I mentioned earlier our outpatient mental health clinic that we provide in Schenectady and Franklin Street. We have a corresponding outpatient mental health clinic in Albany. But that's only one spoke in the wheel of mental health services. I won't necessarily describe all the other outreach services we have, but I will say in response to your question that appropriate mental health services to children and families who are in very real need is still a heck of a challenge.
Yeah.
Again, we all know about the funding restrictions that we're all fighting with. Medicaid is a big source for these services, especially for low-income folks, and that's the population we're really looking to. But as we look around the landscape, as we talk to our government partners, as we just pick up the paper in the morning, we see countless examples of children who need mental health services. The state of New York is in the process of trying to redefine those, how it delivers its services with an initiative called Centers for Excellence. A lot of planning and discussion, which we're a part of with the state of New York. They've asked us to be, amongst others, a partner in helping them with these plans, have to do with the closure of many of the psychiatric centers around the state and the redistribution of services in the communities. To that point, I will say that redistribution of services has to be done skillfully, accurately, and we really have to get the bang for our effort and for our buck when we do that. And that's a big challenge for us because there's a limitation on how much we can do, but boy, the need doesn't really go down.
The need still exists, and
Very much so. Very pervasive.
And the services are still something that's making a difference in our communities.
Without a doubt. You know, just walking in every day, it's kind of interesting. I'm up on the 3rd floor of the building we cited. I watch what goes on in that clinic. I watch the folks coming in and day out. We're open 2 evenings a week. I watch people come in the evenings, even catch a few glimpses of, you know, just informal conversations on the elevator. But it's good for me, and my heart goes out to the struggles that people are really doing to keep families together and to help youngsters have the promise of childhood without trying to be too cliche-ish. And it's impressive, and it's the same is true over in our Albany offices. We have a number of mental health outreach services that we're providing. I won't list them all, but people can learn about them if they give us a call or visit our websites. We have a crisis mobile health unit that actually goes out and meets people wherever they are when a youngster runs into a crisis. It's a marvelous system. We funded it through philanthropy, through government funding, through people like yourselves in corresponding roles who just insist to help us in any way they can to make these things happen. Outreach, mental health, family therapy out in the community, the clinics which I mentioned. So this challenge is pervasive, it's big, and we have to continue to find ways to get these services out to kids. Because if we don't help them now, we're talking about lifelong problems.
Yeah, and those are the things, you know, you're talking about quality of life, keeping families together, all the things you mentioned, all very important to the community. And we talked about funding and how can people get involved? How can people watching a show, hey, you know, this is a great organization, I really want to help out, what can I do?
Well, I'll tell you, we have a development department, and that development department for Northern Rivers is the first group we brought together. Parsons and Northeast both had development folks who did fundraising, public relations, awareness for the general public. The first group who came together was our development group, because we realized not only was it important to raise money, but it was important to get the word out to the community about what we're doing. And these folks have been very, very helpful in not only raising money for many of our programs, but also in the volunteerism that you alluded to earlier. That group is now on 60 Academy Road, or adjacent to our 60 Academy Road offices. They can be reached through any of the websites and the phone numbers on the websites. But if you contact our development department, they can help people understand and figure out how they can help out. Sometimes it is monetary help. Sometimes it's volunteering on some of our special projects. Sometimes it's just offering their support in their awareness. We even developed a small mechanism for people to do small fundraising events. These services are expensive, but everybody who gets together, even if they can raise a few dollars and raise awareness, we welcome those efforts.
And as you said, awareness is important as well.
Yes, it is.
Knowing that the organization is there, knowing what you do is very important.
And along with that, we're more than welcome to speak with any groups or any, whether it's a church group, a Rotary group, a concerned group, a government group, a constituent group of some local government. We feel it's our responsibility to go out and educate and answer questions to people about what is the state of issues for children at risk, children suffering from emotional problems, from trauma. That's part of our job. And I've often said to people in our own staff, while we're private not-for-profits, still we serve the public. And that's why we're a true public partner. We're partners with the public side of things. It's our responsibility to inform people, to be accountable for the stewardship of the funds we have, and accountable for the responsibility we have for the children and families we serve. We're happy to go out to talk to any group who would like to know more about what we do.
And that's good to know. And again, the contact information through the website. Let's give out that website one more time.
northernrivers.org.
Very simple, very easy to remember.
It'll get you there, right.
But any of the other websites, any other web addresses will get you to that point as well.
Right, exactly.
And they can reach you by phone, or certainly feel free to stop in and
we encourage it.
Take a tour like I did a while ago
we
here.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. It was a nice tour, very informative. I've attended several events throughout the year, every year.
Right.
What are some of the events we can look forward to?
Well, we just had, the other night, we just had our yearly annual meeting at the Glenn Sanders out in Scotia. Scotia obviously being one of the communities we serve and adjacent to our home office. at least our Northeast home office, and now our community from Parsons joined us over there. That was a nice event. It's really was originally organized as a report out to the general public, and that's what we did last night. We had 200 or 200 and so supporters there who listened to our report on how we're doing for the year. So that's one big event. It just happened. It happens this time every year.
Okay.
As we approach the summer, like many, we have a golf tournament. Now, it's a fundraiser,
Yeah.
but it's also a community event where people come together. And since we've done organized under the banner of Northern Rivers, we've had 2 of these affairs. They've been marvelous. They're a place where you can have some fun, but also learn about what we're doing. And then we also have a Champions Dinner also every spring, and we'll be getting word out on that. So there's 3 main events that we have. Those are the main events that people can know about and come and learn, can contribute to what we're our cause, and can also learn about what we're doing.
And at these events, one of the things I noticed is you can meet some of the staff,
You sure
people that
can.
work there, the
You sure can.
volunteers,
You can meet some of the young people.
and some of the people that
Yeah.
actually have received services or are
Correct.
going through the process now
Correct.
as well.
Yeah.
And hear directly from them what a difference.
It's marvelous.
So we can look forward to those events. There anything that we have not talked about here, definitely can find on the website. Is there anything else we'd like the audience to know about Northern Rivers Family Services?
No, just that we've been in existence just for over a year now. It was a great endeavor. It was a great commitment on the part of both boards to say let's come together to do what's right for kids and families. In a sense, it's a risk and an experiment, and one that's been very successful after 1 year. We look forward to this agency being a local agency to all our families and kids in this large region we talked about, to further the cause of mental health and sustainability for kids and families as we move forward.
That's great.
Yeah.
And John, I want to thank you for your service to our communities.
Thanks.
And for making a difference, and for bringing, for your part in helping bring these organizations together and
Thanks.
continuing to serve our community. I know it's very important that these services still exist and people have access to them as well. So thank you for being on the show.
Thanks.
And we hope to see you at some of the events throughout the year.
Yep.
Check out the website if you haven't done so. Look for events throughout the year. Chance to learn more and volunteer for a great organization. We'll see you again here on Assembly Update.